Hello students, welcome to this online course of engineering mechanics. So today we are going to start our next unit, that is center of gravity and moment of inertia. So today we are going to see about center of gravity. So this topic you have already learned in your physics classes, so we will be recapping it. So what is center of gravity? Center of gravity of a body is the point through which the resultant weight of the body passes through in whichever position the body is kept. So the orientation doesn't affect the center of gravity. Center of gravity of a body will be the same point. It doesn't depends upon the orientation of the body. So if this is a body, so if its center of gravity is somewhere here, so whether I'm keeping this like, then also it will be here only. If I'm keeping like this, then also. So orientation doesn't affect the center of gravity. Since locating center of gravity involves locating the line of action of resultant weight. So principle of moments. So we have learned this theorem, Varigno's theorem can be used. How we are going to use it? So this is some body in 3 dimensions. Here this is x, y and z. This is x, this is y, and this is z. So this body is having total weight of w. This is the point which this is the center of gravity, and we have taken a small element with weight wi. So let wi be the weight of ith element of the given body of weight w, and let the coordinates of this element be xi, yi and zi. So these are the coordinates of center of gravity of this small element, and that of center of gravity of the body is x bar, y bar and z bar. So these are two different. So this is the coordinates of this point is x bar, y bar and z bar, and the coordinates of center of gravity of this small element is xi, yi and zi. Okay, so the total weight, if we are dividing this in very small elements, so the total weight w will be equal to w1 plus w2 plus w3 till the number of elements in which we have divided. So, or we can say that total weight will be summation of all the small elements, weight of small elements. Okay. So since the resultant of all elemental weights passes through the center of gravity, we have, so this was the Varigno's theorem, in which the resultant moment was equal to the moment due to individual forces. Here we are taking this effect in terms of weight. So total weight multiplied by the center of gravity will be equal to the summation of individual moments. So this is w1 wx, w2 x2, w3 x3 till the last element, or we can say that this is summation wi xi. You can see here 1 2, so I will be 1 2 till n, or we can summarize the center of gravity of the x coordinate is x bar, which is equal to summation wi xi upon summation wi. Okay, so in the same way we can say that the y coordinate will be summation wi yi divided by total weight, and z bar will also be equal to summation wi zi divided by total weight. Okay, so this you have learnt already. So this was a small recap. So it is nothing like only weight. If the what is weight? Weight is mass into gravity. So this gravity is constant. So if we are replacing this as MIG, so what is going to happen? G is getting cancelled out, and we can get the x bar, y bar, z bar in terms of mass. So x bar will be equal to summation mi xi upon summation mi. So what is mi? The mass of the ith element. What was the wi? The weight of the ith element. Similarly, if what is volume. Volume is rho into density. Density is equal to mass upon volume. Mass upon volume. So volume will be rho upon mass. So R so we can rho is m into v. Okay, so this is equal to gamma into b. Weight is equal to gamma into b. So we can replace here gamma. Gamma is density, specific weight. What is gamma? Gamma is specific weight. Weight per unit volume. So we can replace W by gamma into V. So we can get these result in terms of volume. So for a body made up of uniform material, why we are using uniform? Then only this gamma is going to be constant. If this gamma is not, if the body is not uniform, then this gamma will be variable and we will not be able to put directly. So in terms of volume, we are having X bar, Y bar and Z bar. So let us now see how we are going to use the symmetry in term for calculation of the centroid or center of gravity. Centroid and center of gravity is the same thing for the if the material is, the body is homogeneous. So some results are there, you have to take care of these things while calculating the centroid. So first is centroid always lie on the plane of symmetry. Okay, so this is first. If a body is having center of symmetry, so plane of symmetry, then the centroid will lie on that plane. If there are two planes of symmetry, then center of gravity lies on the line of intersection of those two symmetric planes. So if the body is having only one symmetrical plane, the center of gravity will lie on that plane. But if a body is having two, like a sphere or a circle or a square, a rectangle, so these all are having two planes of symmetry. So the centroid will be the intersection point of these two planes of symmetry. The intersection point will be center of gravity. Same way, if there are three planes for 3D diagrams like sphere or a cuboid, so these are having three planes of symmetry. So the centroid will be the intersection point of these three planes. So in the previous formulas which we have seen, it was for discrete body, but a body is continuous, then the summation sign will be replaced by the integration sign. This you might have learned in your mathematics classes. So x bar will be integral x into dw divided by total weight. Total weight will be dw. Similarly, you can see these formulas. So we have to put limits in such a way that these limits will cover the whole body. Complete body should be covered with these limits. Okay, so this you have to be careful. So we are going to solve a small problem for I'm giving you the overview how we are going to solve a problem for centroid. So the question is, locate the center of gravity of the right circular cone of the base radius r and height h as shown. So the diagram is given in the question. This the cone is laid like this. So this is x-axis, this is y-axis and this is z-axis. This height is given as h and this base radius is given as r. Okay, so what the x-axis is this is the symmetrical plane. You can see if you are cutting this like this, okay, you are cutting along this line, so whatever material you are getting at r distance, you are getting same, at r by 2 you are getting same. So this, about this axis, this whole body is like mirror. Okay, so let us solve this problem. For solving this, what we can do, we can take a small disk. Okay, so let me just show you. This is the thickness, so this thickness will be along x, so it is dx. This height is along z, so this is something like z, and we are taking this at a distance x. Okay, so what we are doing, we are taking a small disk at a distance x of thickness dx. So the radius z can be expressed in terms of r. How we are going to do this? So this triangle, just let me give this as CD. So triangle OCD is similar to triangle OAB. Same, this ratio is same. So what is going to happen? X divided by h will be equal to z divided by r. Okay, so z will be x upon h into r. Clear? So this is, we have find out the this radius of this small disk which we have chosen, this small elemental disk. Now the volume of the elemental plate or disk. So this is a small element, so we are using in differential form. So pi r square into dx. What will be the volume? This this area of this circle multiplied by the height. So this is pi, this will be pi z square into dx. So replace this z from here. So x square upon h square into r square into dx. Okay, if gamma is the unit weight of the material, then the weight of the elemental plate. So let us say this is dW. So dW will be gamma into dV, or dV is pi x square upon h square into r square into dx. Okay, so I think this is, up till this no doubt is there. So total weight W will be integral W from 0 to h. Okay, we have to cover full cone. So how we are going to do that? We are going to do that with the putting the limits from 0 to h. So 0 to h, gamma pi r square upon h square x square dx. Okay. So this x, this is a very, these things are constant, so they will come outside. Integral 0 to h x square dx. So w will be gamma pi r square h square x square dx will be x cube by 3 0 to h. So pi r square h square h cube minus 0 cube by 3. So this weight is coming out to be gamma into pi r square, this h square and h cube, r square h upon 3. Okay, this is clear up till here. So we want to calculate the x bar. So how we are going to do that? X bar is integral x dw upon integral dw. Okay, so w we have calculated, this we have calculated like this. So now we have to calculate this quantity. So this is nothing but this dw equation, we have to multiply x here only. Okay, so this x square will become x cube. So 0 to h gamma pi r square upon h square x cube dx upon this same r square h upon 3. So x bar will be, see this gamma h r square, let us just solve it. So this x bar is gamma pi r square upon h square. This integral x cube will be h raised to power 4 by 4 divided by gamma pi r square h upon 3. So gamma pi r square, here we are going to get h square by 4 into 3 by h. So x bar is 3 by 4 into h. Okay, so in this way you can solve the problem. And this is from where? From base. Okay, sorry, this is from vertex. X bar will be h by 4 from base. Clear? So in this way you are going to solve. In the next lecture we will be solving one more problem, and we will see some, then we are going to see the moment of inertia, mass moment of inertia, and area moment of inertia. So that we are going to see next. So this is all for today. Thank you.